Hi Leo, this is your April 2022 soul story. If you've got a sun rising or your moon is in the sign, all my readings are general. However, we'll give you some key astrological dates and intuitive messages that will hopefully resonate and help you to navigate your way through the next few weeks. This is Romy. I appreciate you tuning in. So we're going to be opening up April's energy with the Seven of Wands for you, Leo. He's really demonstrating an incredible feat of strength here, but it's coming from this place of love. And there's no doubt in your mind, I think, about why you need to do what you're about to do through this month, okay? There is this quality of April sort of delivering like a before and after. And there's an intensity that comes in fire energy, which, you know, it speaks the same energy language as you. And that's okay. So we have the drive, the passion, the momentum, the willingness to get going in this new astrological year in Aries season, that beautiful warrior energy being illuminated, helping us to really overcome the challenges that get put in our way. And yet there's also this kind of drifting, healing and very compassionate energy as a sort of undercurrent as we see Venus and Mars move into Pisces, Juno, the asteroid goddess, move into Pisces, and we have this once in a lifetime Jupiter conjunct Neptune alignment coming in between the 8th and the 12th. But first of all, we kick off with a new moon in Aries. Now that's conjunct with the wounded healer Chiron and also with Mercury, which means that in order to move forward, we have to address something by way of, you know, our Achilles heel, that thing that feels like there's a pocket of energy resistance because it's connected into old emotional trauma. Now, the Seven of Wands suggests to me that you've got the power, the desire, the wherewithal to truly let that go. And it's deeply rooted in April from a place of forgiveness, okay? So that's about needing to forgive yourself or let go and release and find forgiveness or tolerance for situations and other aspects of your life so that you can power forward and start to welcome some of the things that want to show up. We're going to be receiving answers to questions we didn't even ask this month, okay? It is a very powerful time to be able to kind of take that huge quantum leap forward. What I see more than anything for you is that sometimes the Seven of Wands for me can be like a real sort of, I need to justify my position, justify. I don't see that for you, which is kind of interesting. So what I have is this no more explaining required, no more seeking acceptance. Yeah, now you're being redirected to remind yourself why you set these boundaries in the first place, why you feel the way that you do. And really coming to terms with drawing some of that energy back so that you can pour it into the places that are going to offer a much more reciprocal energy exchange for you. Remember, Leo, people don't necessarily understand or need to what drives you, what motivates you. You know, your purpose, what you're here to do, the things that are lighting you up at this point in time, which by the way could have changed considerably even since you last expressed or shared them with others. You know, that's personal. That's down to your relationship between you and your soul. Now, the Two of Wands says that there's time for planning and preparation through this month of April. And that matters because there's something about you needing to take conscious control of your life in some area. And there's this moment between taking that inspired action and feeling into the emotional reactions that surface connected to it. That's where we have the power to really have a more conscious response. So there's such a sort of deep truth and wisdom that I see kind of coming up from Leo energy through this month. It's going to be deeply helpful for you in just kind of coming to a place of acceptance in regards to things. You have to have the courage to create the life that you want instead of settling for all that you think is available to you. And I think what's going to be happening in April is you're also then going to notice the people or the energies that seem to be sort of really adding to that particular limiting belief. And so what you might start to find is a withdrawal energy or a desire to want to pull away from certain groups, certain friendships, certain situations where you think, actually, you're really holding me back at this point. I don't feel that you're necessarily on board or really understanding the energy that I'm now vibrating at. So there's this understanding, I think, Leo, that you have been learning how to operate in chaos to the degree that you almost feel safe in that space now. And so when peace does show up, when there's opportunities to kind of nourish and cultivate it, it can feel almost like that silence is a bit deafening, or that it may even sort of feel a little bit boring or uneasy or uncomfortable for you, because you're kind of waiting for what the next thing is that's going to land and is going to be the disruptor. So I feel like you've been operating within the confines of something. You know, they're all kind of standing in these hoops at the moment. You've had to jump through hoops, so to speak, perhaps for a lot of other people. And again, that Seven of Wands just tells me you're just ready to sort of break free from that. But it is coming from this place of deep self-love. It's really important. So Venus in Pisces, remember, ruling our relationship house, our sense of value. And Juno, the asteroid goddess, that also rules marriage, contracts, partnerships. You know, sometimes we can get over idealistic and romantic in that energy. We can have the rose-coloured glasses on, if you like. And there can be a tendency to want to jump into savior role for the other person, either personally or professionally, if you're entangled with something that's involving very close partnership situations. So just keep that in mind, because what the true answer is for you this month is to maintain a very strong sense of self. That's why your Seven of Wands has come up there, showing you the muscle there, honing and crafting that sense of strong physicality and groundedness within your own energy field, so that you're not kind of displacing and feeling that disorientation or drifting too far away from the things that actually matter and are really important to you. Now, we've got a full moon coming in the sign of Libra, happening on the 16th of the month, okay? And it's going to be making a 10 square with Pluto. So there's a intensity that comes there. And remember, Pluto is about bringing around that sense of deeper transformational energy within the self, with a focus on relationships. Now, the Page of Cups here suggests again that there is this energy of kindness and compassion that's required. And honestly, Leo, you may feel this month that you're not particularly in the mood to demonstrate feats of kindness and compassion to those people who keep challenging you, triggering you, forcing you to sort of jump through these hoops. However, this is where your release point comes. This is where you set yourself free. You don't have to meet them in the energy of that challenge. You can very quickly dissipate it. You can completely change the storyline in an instant by just almost drenching the situation with love. And if you feel like you can't drench them in love, then you drench yourself in love, and you refuse to absorb what is being projected or directed towards you. The thing you need to remember is that, the universe delivers messages, and the messages that are being given to other people and to you, they're not necessarily one and the same. We hear things differently, even if we observe exactly the same situation. This matters if you're trying to connect the dots, if you're trying to figure out why someone is doing what they're doing. And again, there's something about this month that's saying just redirect that focus, because that's going to get you all out of balance with yourself. Now, the Eight of Pentacles here, you can see her focus. She's got the paintbrush here. It's just like, this is, you being the architect of creating something new for yourself. This is about the discipline, the structure, the order, the commitment that's required to get you to the next level. And there is something that's being asked of you in that regard. Now, the 9th house, remember, illuminates those grander visions. It's very Jupiterian in its qualities, and with that being the ruler, and of course Jupiter conjunct Neptune here, there's a huge spiritual advancement happening. And so the Eight of Pentacles in this instance with the Page of Cups suggests to me that many of you are going to go through profound, exquisite and really beautiful experiences on a spiritual level this month. And even if that's coming to some stark awareness and deeper truths about how some of your day-to-day priorities are leading you away from the things that you actually want. I think from a professional and a work basis, there is opportunity to see advancement, even in relationships. But what the 8 is telling me is that there's work to do, and it may feel like hard work. You know, it doesn't always come along as the sweetness, because sometimes to forgive, to find compassion, kindness, tolerance, that can feel like the harder thing in any given situation. Just interestingly, you know, the 9th house also rules our relationship to in-laws. That might be relevant for some of you as you've come out of that 8th house energy in Pisces season, and you're now kind of coming to terms with perhaps some of the issues that were brought to the surface for that. Yeah, so just keep that in mind as you move through this month. There may be some requirement for you to stand your ground in some capacity for those of you going through that. We really want you to be mindful that this is a month for listening. You know, the 8 of Pentacles, she's really paying attention to the details. You don't want to miss anything. Okay, here's the Tower. So why does this show up? Well, we're also coming into eclipse season, yeah? At the end of the month, we're going to welcome a new moon solar eclipse in the sign of Taurus. Sun shifts into Taurus on the 19th, okay? So conjunct with Uranus, it's a powerful time. We know we have a breaking down, a breaking open, a breaking through. But for me, you're turned away from this Tower, and I think that really matters. Why? Because this could definitely signify someone else's drama, but also something that you are really over. You've had enough, and you're completely willing to say, this way of living, this way of connecting or exchanging energetically isn't valuable to me now. It's not offering me any growth. It's not offering me the opportunity to really embody the teaching that I want to become, to learn, develop, grow at this level. So there is this almost allowance. I feel you almost giving permission to the universe to say, yeah, you can take that away. Now, you know, if the universe has the directive to say, right, we're going to do this in the fastest way possible, sometimes that can feel like an upheaval. It can feel like a big bust up. It can feel like this huge trajectory shift that goes, wow, was not anticipating or expecting that, because there's a suddenness to it, especially with Uranus involved with this. Okay, so extra sudden. Yeah, but at the same time, to me, you actually look quite contained and quite okay, because at a deeper part of you, I think there was this acceptance that it was coming in some regard. And remember what I said, this is about you taking conscious control of your life, and between the action and the reaction, you have that power to make what the next response is going to be for you. So your response to the events as they unfold here really help to prepave what comes next. Now, I'm not taking away, from those of you that might be going through something that is incredibly painful and difficult and might surface around that Tower energy. But if you have learned to operate and to almost feel safe in the chaos, what we're now seeking is a much more peaceful energy. And that does require us to sort of be challenged and stretched and tested in some way. Now, the Page of Pentacles comes in again. There's this real sort of willingness on Leo's part, I think, this month to sort of learn new things that are really going to help you. Let me unearth new emotional tools. Let me invest in myself. Let me go towards the people or the things that I know are going to take me to the next level. I don't want to stay stuck or stagnant anymore. I can't breathe in those situations or those environments that just keep perpetuating the same storyline here. Now you've got everything coming into blossom here. She's got the watering can. So again, she's prepared to nourish things. Now the pages are indicative of lots of messages and communication coming your way as well. What I like is that we have the sweetness and the compassion, but it's also rooted in something that feels a little bit more real and tangible. In fact, there feels like there's a more significant offer that comes your way that might translate in itself personally or professionally for you. So keep an eye out for that as well. Now, Mercury is in Taurus from the 10th of the month, meaning that the way that we communicate and how we express ourselves becomes a little bit more deliberate. We take our time. We have a level of patience, which perhaps you might need in regards to other people. But then as we come toward the end of the month and into Taurus energy, we're going to see that shift from Mercury and Taurus into Gemini, where things really start to build. And here we have your 10th house being lit up, which is all about the imprint that you want to leave, the legacy that you want to bring to the world. special emphasis around the work that you do, whether that be professionally or even if you're not working, just the projects or the initiatives that you want to get involved with. And there's a real public aspect to that as well. So I see you being real kind of motivated and galvanized towards the end of the month to make sure that you can get things out there for people to see. And that's important because your vision, what you have to say, that matters. Now, again, what you're going to have to recognize is that there might be people not really understanding or on board with the particular route that you're wanting to take or have decided to take in that regards. But remember, this is your path. This is what sustains and nourishes you. This is about what you feel devoted to. Now, the Ace of Cups, again, I really like coming through. It's the beginning. It's that beautiful seed of love that gets placed within us. Very fertile energy, so that can play out in all sorts of different ways in your life. Yes, new love can come in, but it's also a whole new relationship with yourself. It's about something wanting to be birthed. She's allowing the release of all these butterflies, and it's just this recognition of, look at all the ways that I've changed. I don't need you to be okay with it. I just need to be okay with it. And you are. I really see that. I see this kind of quiet acceptance of just I can't go back. I won't go back. And if somebody wants to meet me where I am right now, then fantastic. My arms are open. I'm ready to receive. I'm ready to show up and to commit. And there may be this real strange feeling of deja vu that's permeating all the way through April. We're also going to be coming into the retrograde season as Pluto takes its backspin through Capricorn on the 29th, Four of Swords, a time for introspection and sort of review, to pull back a little bit. But again, here's this quietness, this stillness, this peacefulness, and she's just allowing these feathers to fall all around her. She's just kind of allowing the universe to sort of take control and put things into the right order. I actually love the sort of contrast between that Seven of Wands and the Four of Swords, because it feels like at the right time you'll stand up for yourself and you'll be prepared to meet the challenge and you'll pass the test, and then you'll step back and take the rest and allow what needs to come from that occur in the right way. So I think you yourself are going to feel like you're being so powerfully guided through this month. Not to say it's going to feel easy at every moment, but there's definitely this sense of being highly sensitive and acutely aware, and we want you to be in a place of listening, because listening from that pure presence is really the antidote to the frenzy. Now, one of the things I want to say, which is kind of coming through, is sometimes when what we want has begun to show up or is making its way towards us, we can recognize it and we're like, wow, this is it. This is what I've been wanting. This is what I've been waiting for. That Ace of Cups has just kind of got that burst of energy. It's almost like the heart flutter, yeah? But then it can send us, if we're not careful, into a place of panic. It can put us into a place of being disconnected. It's almost a little bit kind of like a hysteria, because it's like, oh, it's here, it's here, it's here. Finally, I've been waiting. And then we can kind of throw ourselves off from being in a calm, grounded, receptive energy. So I just want to give you that as a heads up. If things are starting to show up as they should, it's also an invitation for you to just sink deeper into the knowing that of course it is, because it's the laws of the universe and it's what you've been working and attracting towards. But now what we need is what comes next. How do I allow myself to sustain this? The planning and the preparation, so that I don't fall by the wayside or get caught up in the sugar high or the sugar rush of this. Very important. Okay, let's take a look and see where the Oracle cards want to join this conversation for you. The elixir of life. You are just really looking for environments, for relationships, for things that can help you feel like you can breathe. Anything that is not coming from a deep place of love has no place, and you'll see it wither and die away. But here we've got the bloom of this flower, and it's just growing. It's growing at a fast rate, actually, just like that Page of Pentacles. So what I will say to you is, where you are directing your time, energy, and attention, there's something about the doors just starting to fly open. And really that Jupiter conjunct Neptune alignment, it really helps to put you directly in contact with these bigger, grander visions, and it's almost like something that never existed all of a sudden has manifested, and things are never the same again. And that's in the positive, you know, it's like new land masses being created as a result of something that has happened at this exact moment. So what sustains you, that elixir of life, it's deeply personal, isn't it? It's about what your journey is telling you right now. And again, you're sort of turned away from the individuals here. And it's almost like they've been ring-fenced. There's boundaries that's been put around them here. And I think that really matters, just to give you some time and energy and space to figure something out, because you've got clear focus and something that wants to emerge. Once that gets settled and rooted, then there'll come a time where you can reconnect, should you so desire, you know, or you can allow that relationship to develop and go to the next level. But don't be afraid of some of the requirement to just take time or time out. Yeah, so let's have a look at your astrology cards. Okay, you have the 11th house, friends, like-minded groups and humanitarian beliefs. Well, it's all about, again, the alignment to our hopes and dreams in the 11th house. It's about the way that we use the network that is available to us, new connections coming and leaving. You know, it's about how we use, you know, technology in our lives to support and advance our growth. So maybe something showing up by way of the investment or the work that you're doing specifically online. There may be significant changes coming in with friendship groups or people around you. You don't in any way, shape or form look alone. You in fact have really like-minded people around you. So some of the changes might be about bringing in more oxygenation with people who just are able to meet you where you are and not in any way hold you or limit you or project towards you what you are achieving or what you're feeling or what's happening for you in terms of growth, okay? So this is the Blind Spot Oracle, Leo. I used this back in the January Soul Stories. It's basically just giving you a heads up to what is unseen. What is your blind spot in April? So we're going to select a card, but I'm going to cover it off with the insights in our extended reading. So the extended reading, talk for another 20 minutes or so, give you more insights into this April general reading, and we're also going to give you the opportunity to ask a personal question. So just do that for me now, put some emphasis on something that might not have come up in this main spread, and what we'll do is pull you a couple of cards in relation to that. Kind of interesting that you have no court cards this month. So again, it sort of feels like even though it's about people, it's not about people. You know, it's really connected into what's going on for you within the self. And of course, that Tower being your only major arcana is also suggesting that the powerful change and shift that takes place this month is really necessary on your spiritual journey, I feel. Okay, I'm going to clarify this main spread now. It's just beginning with a 7 of Wands. 10 of Cups, fighting for your happiness, Judgment, there's your reset, beautiful, Ace of Wands. Now I mentioned last month that I've got my new Oracle deck coming out, so the Kickstarter campaign, depending on when you watch this, should already be live or very soon will be. I'm going to give you a quick sneak preview of the cards again in the extended reading. But if you haven't signed up to the email list to hear all about the launch of that, then it is in the description box underneath, and I'll update that for when it goes live as well if you're watching this a bit later in April. Okay. Page of Cups, 2 of Pentacles. So the Well is one of these additional bonus cards that the creator of this deck has included, if you don't recognise it as a tarot card. Such vision coming in this April reading for you. I love this. Okay, a few more court cards showing up in the clarifiers. So something needs to be understood before you're meant to properly connect or allow the influence, insight, or deal with the interference of people. Okay. Leo, I'm going to leave it there. If you'd like to join me for the extended, you can find the link in the description box underneath. Otherwise, be sure to check back in through the month and see how these messages continue to unfold for you and give you deeper resonance. I appreciate you. Please do drop me a like and a comment, subscribe to the channel. These are all ways that you can support me, and I really appreciate you. You take care. Have a beautiful month.